Special guest today on the Real Talk with Real Deal podcast. I got my man, Brock Vandagriff. Y'all have no idea what he means to us and the dealership here at Akins and Wild Willies. Brock, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm really happy to be here.
This is the first podcast that I've done at like 8 a.m. So why are we here this early? You've already been up and at 'em. What have you been doing this morning?
I had a lift at 6 this morning and went ahead and knocked that out. Got home, showered up, came over here, and then I'm going to throw at 10:30. So got a little full schedule before noon, and then go watch the Wildcats at noon.
There you go. So, man, this is a unique time in your life because, you know, you were a dang good dog. You'll forever be a dang good dog. Already graduated. And the boys are playing Florida State tomorrow. So, I know you got mixed emotions. I'm so excited about your opportunity you've got at Kentucky. And I'm a Wildcat now. I'm gonna pull for you. We're gonna be there. We're gonna all support you, and we're so excited for you. But tell me, what kind of emotions are going through you right now as far as your boys about to play tomorrow? You got a new endeavor coming up. Just tell me kind of what you feeling a little bit.
There's a lot of emotions going on, whether that's on the football side of things or the social side of things. Like, I've lived with Chaz and Brock since I've got to Georgia, and so like, just knowing that our days are counting down, and I think they're coming home the day of the game, and so we'll have like 1 or 2 days left together before we all split up, with Brock going to training and then me going to just to Kentucky, obviously.
Right.
But the game coming up is really good. I'm really excited to watch them play because it was basically the same thing in Miami whenever we played last year, the year before. Like, they're doing all the same stuff. They're eating at the same places. So it was pretty sweet to be able to see, like, oh, they're going to Fogo de Chao tonight, stuff like that. So it's good. And I was texting Carson last night, and he said that they're ready to roll. So that's always exciting and promising that when the quarterback's saying that they're ready to roll, then they're ready to roll.
Absolutely. I mean, the culture that Kirby's put in place is like undeniable. Like, you're either going to buy into the culture there or you're not. It's like the standard is the standard. And like seeing you on the field, I'm just ready to see you out there more because I saw you. I was there. I've seen you on the field every single play. I saw every snap. And if you don't know anything about Brock Vandagriff, state champion, was coached by your dad. Tell us a little bit about your experience at Prince and just the overall thing of being coached by dad and growing up in the football scene.
So being coached by my dad was like pretty unique. He always coached me in baseball and football and stuff growing up. And when we came to Prince, it was actually 8th grade was when I came to Prince. And so he was obviously the coach and, for the varsity team. So it was me and Jake Johnson and Brad Johnson playing middle school ball. So that was really fun. And he was kind of overseeing all that. And then my freshman year started being like, hey, like maybe I could play quarterback at the next level. That was a dream, a goal. And then, we go in there and I'm throwing, and our quarterback before was like 31-2 or like 31-3, like something stupid like that. And like, he was a baller, Grant Rowland. And my dad was like, hey, look, like, this is my second year coaching at Prince. You're not playing quarterback this year. Like, I don't care. Like, he said, there's not going to be a competition, no nothing. He said, this kid started for 3 years. Like, he's going to start his senior year. Like, you can play any other position you want, but you're not playing quarterback. So I said, all right. So I go over there and I start learning slot and ended up playing slot like my 5th game of the year. And I think I ended up having like 8 or 9 touchdowns. But that was really unique to go play there. And then obviously quarterback sophomore, junior, senior year, and was just a part of some really good teams and some really good games.
Y'all go, if you haven't seen highlights of Brock, go look. Brock's a big man, y'all. So I see him out there in the slot. That would have been scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
I don't know if freshman Brock would have been that scary.
Right.
I'm out there wearing my rib protector because I play quarterback for the JV team, and I just look stupid. But, I mean, I got the job done, and that was another funny thing was, like, going in there blocking those linebackers and stuff on jet sweeps. Like, my dad was like, dude, you're 170 pounds. Like, just take a charge. Like, if they run you over, as long as they don't make the tackle, then you did your job.
You did your job.
Correct.
That's funny. But I love your skill set of the cannon of an arm you have and the ability to run with some speed and some strength. So at Kentucky, I'm so excited for you because I know you're going to do great things there. Tell me so far about what you've how you feel about it, and what you've seen at Kentucky. You obviously impressed and looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've seen and read a lot about Coach Liam Cohen, which is, I mean, Coach Cohen to me. But he was with the Rams and he was there with Stafford and stuff, and just being able to text back and forth with him, like sending them videos of my workouts and stuff, and we're already trying to tweak things and work on things. So just being able to really just hone in and perfect my craft, like just as far as throwing goes, because I mean, running is just reacting, but like throwing and playing quarterback is a whole different game. And just being able to know that he's been there before, he's coached those guys, like that's really like it's impactful to me to knowing like, hey, like this dude knows exactly what he's talking about. Like, and I told him just we're gonna do whatever it takes to make me the best quarterback and to help the Kentucky Wildcats move the chains. That's basically our goal.
That's excellent. Yeah, it's got to be give you all that utmost confidence knowing that he's already had been coaching and helping these other great athletes at the position too, that you'll be able to roll right in there with that too. So Kentucky plays Clemson today, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to obviously be tuning into that one and seeing what's going on there?
Yes, sir. We're going to be throwing at 10:30 and then probably go get some lunch and then definitely watch that game. So I'm excited just to watch, I mean, obviously future teammates and some of the guys that'll probably be leaving this year, graduating and stuff like that, going to the league. But I'm ready to just see, because I really haven't paid much attention to Kentucky offense besides after I decided I was going to go there, and I'm watching more and more games of them. But during our season, it was all Kentucky defense. I could tell you everything about Kentucky defense, but nothing about the offense. And so whenever we were looking at wanting to go other places, I was like, dang, this is really similar to what we do at Georgia, and this is also from Coach Cohen. This is going to get you ready for the league, which is, I mean, it's obviously that's the end goal, but I mean, obviously that stuff doesn't always work out. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm just excited for the opportunity.
Yeah, I am too. Everything's going to work out great for you. A little bit about your family. So you are in an athlete family. Can you share with everyone kind of your parents' history about their athleticism, and then some about your siblings also?
Yes, sir. Both my parents played collegiate sports at smaller colleges, one in Tennessee and one in Alabama. My dad actually played football and golf. If you watch him play golf now, you would not believe that, but I think it was to get a package deal to get everything paid for college. So he's on the golf team. And my mom, she played softball at Shelton State, which is a JUCO. So she played there. And then my middle sister, Anna, she's going to be actually 20 minutes away from me, 20, 30 minutes. She plays volleyball at Eastern Kentucky. So my parents were all fired up about that. And then Audrey, she is a senior at Prince, and she's committed to Bama. For softball. Yes, sir. That's
fantastic. And so, yeah, when I was trying to figure out where you were going to go, I was unsure. Your girlfriend's at Samford. Mm-hmm. So I thought, I was like, man, Brock may go down to Auburn to be close to a girlfriend's sister. I didn't know what the dynamic was, but I didn't know that about the other connection. That's really awesome.
Yes, sir.
That's good, man. As far as high school memories, I was at the game where you were at Raven County. I went and saw that game. Yeah. I went to that one. I didn't go see you enough in high school, but I did go to that game. What's your most memorable high school moment?
Definitely hands down, without a doubt, is either the Elka game, which was the semifinal game, or we ended up losing.
Eagles Landing? That's Eagles Landing? Yeah. That
game, or the state championship game my senior year. Both those two games were just surreal. I felt like the Elka game, it was a video game. I felt like I was so locked in. You couldn't jack around on the sidelines because dang, they're scoring in 3 plays. We got to go score, and we ended up losing 62-57. But there's Prince people that have told me that's the most fun game I've ever watched. And I'll agree with them. Dude, that was one of the best games to be a part of because it was we're out there we're running out of plays. We're running plays again and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And I think there was a bunch of touchdowns scored that game, and I had a lot. So that was you're reading the stats after, you're dude, this is a video game.
Did I just really do that?
Correct. Yes,
was
sir.
That your junior year?
Yes, sir.
So I think that was the game that I remembered, man, this is Prince turning the corner. They could and almost should have won this game. They're going to win. They're going to start winning some state championships, and then got another one this past year. How was that? Was your dad pumped up? Obviously, after winning another one.
Oh yeah, he's always jacked up about that stuff, and he was just saying that once he came here, if he could get the lower school and the middle school just all run basically the same offense and stuff, they'll be learning. One of our freshman wideouts this year, I think he was number 2 in the nation for freshman receiving yards or catches, something like that.
Oh, he could. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He had what, 7 or 8, 9 catches in the state championship.
He was a beast. And I didn't get to watch much games this year because we had the meetings and stuff on Friday nights. But I was like at the state championship game, I was like, dude, who is this guy? And he's balling out there. And like, that's the thing is like, he might not be the biggest guy. Like you saw it with Logan Johnson, like might not be the biggest and strongest guy, but like if you know where to be on the football field at the right time, and if you see, hey, the quarterback's in trouble, let me go help him out. Like you will get catches and stuff. And the more you know the offense, the more you'll be able to just control like where you're going or your route depth and just change stuff like that. So basically, like going back to what my dad was saying, like if they could learn this stuff through the lower school and the middle school and stuff like that, then they'll be ready to play as a freshman, which is a big thing at Prince because we don't have a lot of players. So it doesn't matter your age range or anything, the best player will play, and that's what happened this year with that freshman.
Fantastic. I hear that you were a pretty good little baseball player too.
Yes, sir. I dabbled with some baseball.
When did that cutoff stop? When did that?
I think it was either my 8th or 9th grade year. But basically, like, the deal was like I was pitching, playing third, first a little bit, and hitting 3 or 4 hole, whatever. And my dad was like, hey, if you get a college offer to play football, like, obviously as a quarterback, like, you're not going to be able to pitch anymore. And so we've talked back and forth. I was like, dude, like, were you trying to get me to quit and stuff? And because that was really all I loved to do was pitch. Like, dude, I would suck it up and pick my nose on third base until I could go pitch.
Right.
Like, and when I actually got offered by Miami that spring, I think it was my freshman year. And so I was like, dang, like, I don't even want to play baseball anymore. So I hung it up. But that's just something like I always tell others, and like I would encourage like younger guys is like, dude, play as many sports as you can. Like whatever you can get out there and play it. Because like basketball helped me with my hand-eye coordination, like jumping and stuff. Like baseball helped me with just like being patient. Like
right.
Baseball to me was just boring. But I mean that's just my advice to like younger people, because like I played baseball and basketball and track like my freshman year, and then basically just basketball, track, and football from then on out. And I think I quit basketball my junior year, but too many sprained ankles.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I feel the same way. You hear so many other people trying to guide you in different directions. You hear some that are saying, you got to be all in on one. And I think especially at this young of an age, you're still crafting and creating your skill set, and you need to have all those other sports to sharpen those tools and give you those attributes from that other sports can't give you. So I'm glad to hear you say that. Like
a specific example is the sister Anna that's playing volleyball at EKU. She didn't even play volleyball till like 7th or 8th grade. Like you don't even really know what you're good at until you get to high school, and then like, hey, maybe I'm good at this, or this will help me out in this. And like you see a bunch of like these specialized trainers and stuff that are like pushing like, let's train all year for football. Like we'll do speed training on our own, but like, hey man, you could be running track with some people from your high school you don't even know. Like it's branching out, and then you also get into like burnout. Like dude, like yeah. I mean, if you think about how many pitches or how many balls I've thrown, like if that was all I was doing my whole life, like if you weren't playing freaking tag in the yard, like dude, that crap just you'd get burnt out. And that's the thing is like that's what keeps me coming back more and more like every year and just always staying hungry is that like, dude, I love football. Like that's one of the main reasons I left, because like I want to go play. Like it's time to play. Like I got my degree. It's time to go play some ball. Yeah.
So yeah, for everyone there's an analogy here. You either love football or you love being a football player. Brock loves football, and he's a great football player, but he loves the game of football, and that true passion I can really appreciate. So I guess you initially had committed to Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. You were working here in the summertime. During that time, I was talking to you about that, and then the change happened, which made me so proud. I went to Georgia. I graduated way back in the day, back in 2008. So I'm obviously a fan of the Dogs. And tell us a little bit about like just the dogs that you were surrounded by. Like, have you ever been surrounded by as much talent as you were the past couple years at Georgia? I mean, just like everywhere you look, you got phenomenal athletes. Just talk about that just for a sec.
Yeah, like right when you get to Georgia, like Coach Smart's like, hey, look, I don't care what you were ranked. I don't care if you're no star, 5-star, 7-star. He's like, I don't care. Like everybody, when you come in here, everybody's equal. Like you have to earn stuff from day one when you come in. And that's like for hard workers and dudes that just want to go in and work and nose down and grind, stuff like that. Like that's really like, you like hearing that, because you know like nothing's going to be handed out, nothing's going to be given. And another thing was just like, is everybody on the UGA football team was their best player on their team wherever they were at. So like everybody's that big dog. Like, I mean, that's at schools across America. Like wherever you are in college, you're the best player in your high school team. Awesome. everyone's good now. Like, what's going to separate you now? Like, are you going to watch extra film? Are you going to run extra? Are you going to lift extra? Like, what's going to separate you from the others? And that's just like, that's something I was able to pick up and learn, and hopefully I'll be able to take that with me on my journey to Kentucky.
Absolutely. Just that standard of, you're going to know how to work, knowing how to work hard, knowing what effort to put in to really, I think we all are limited by our own minds, Brock. I feel like that, just based on what environment we're grown up in, that, we have that thought process of maybe I can't be great, or I'm going to be an average whatever in life. But I think so if we can all open up our minds of, man, if I really put in all of my effort and focus and attention on this craft, I could become great. I could become something special. So I think in general, us as humans, we kind of want to take the path of least resistance, and we don't necessarily give ourselves enough credit of what we could achieve in life.
I would definitely say like that's something I'm totally on board with, and I totally agree with. And another thing is, like, a lot of people like, oh, David Goggins, stuff like this. Like, I sat down and read his book. It was after last football season, and basically, like, his motto was like, is stay hard, like, do the hard thing every time, like, callous your mind, like, dude. And so I'm like, all right, like, I don't even really need to, but I'm gonna get in the cold tub up to my neck every day after spring practice. It sucked, but like, I'm telling myself, like, hey, you're doing this. Like, I don't care if the body likes it or not. You're doing this. Like, it'll help you. Like, and it's obviously just like telling your mind no. Like, and then just doing stuff that you're uncomfortable with to be able to just break through that barrier. And like, if you keep on knocking on the door every day, eventually it's going to break. But if you walk up to it and walk back, then you'll never know what's on the other side of that door. And that's just something like, if you haven't read those books, those are awesome. My mom got me the second one for Christmas, so I'm going to read that one as well. But that dude, he's unreal. And like, basically, after all this stuff he did, like all the ultra marathons, all this stuff, all the buds training, he went through like 2 or 3 times, something stupid like that. Like, he had like a hole in one of his like, I mean, vitals or something like that. And he was like, dude, the fact I did all this stuff with this and not even knowing, like, and then he ended up getting it fixed or whatever. And he was like, my potential is out the roof now. And I was like, dude, this dude's doing it, and he's got something jacked up in him, and I'm suffering getting in the cold tub.
He like finished a marathon with a broken foot. I remember one time as well, just like the last 20 miles with a broken foot, and I would be just crushed. Get me out of here.
In the buds training, like his shin splints were so bad, like he had like a fractured something in his shin, like duct taped his shins.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd be tapping out. But dude, that's another thing, is like just seeing other guys, like, and the thing is like whoever broke the 4-minute mile or the 3-minute mile, whatever that landmark was that no one had done, and then like 200 people did it after the first person did it. Like, you see other people do, you're like, hey dude, this is physically possible. I got to put my mind to it and get to it. So that's just always encouraging, and I'm ready to get started on that second book.
That's right. Yeah. So man, that's first of all, the cold tub. Like, when you get out though, you feel like $1,000,000. There's no better feeling than once you actually get out of there and those endorphins start to kick in. You just feel so great. So
that like lifting and like cold tub is like, it's like scientifically proven, like mentally and physically, like it boosts. Like, it's just a boost for your mental and physical like health and stuff. And that's something I definitely felt. But like those February and March, like when those days were cold, like I would always make sure to go take a hot shower after and freeze my butt off walking to the truck. For
sure. I'm 39 now, Brock, so I'm like reading all this stuff too, and like it enhances free testosterone too. So I'm trying to keep my testosterone levels up, So I'm down with all that, and it definitely works.
Heck yeah,
it definitely does. Any advantage we can get would be absolutely what we want to go after. So tell me, how long have you known Mr. Brad Akins? Like, what was that connection there?
I've known Mr. Akins since probably 7th or 8th grade, or 8th grade. Obviously, wasn't even here in 7th grade. 8th grade, and I was like just trying to dabble with, like, I'm cutting grass and stuff. My parents are like, hey, like, whenever you get your first truck, like we'll split it with you. So like whatever you have, we'll match it. So I was like, okay, like. And I thought they were joking, so I'm out there, I'm going to the movies and stuff, going to get new clothes and stuff, and they're like, no, like, we're dead serious, like, whatever you have, we'll match it. Like, dude, if you have $50, like, you might be able to pick out a nice $100 Huffy bike. So I was like, oh crap. So I got to it, and I got to saving, and I was like, dang, like, I need to go see if I can work for Mr. Akins. And so I was cutting grass and working here, and that was probably when we met. It was probably 8th or 9th grade, and worked for him for a little while.
So you worked here in 8th or 9th grade?
Probably ninth grade. It was probably like right after I could drive is whenever I came here. So that was the money might have been helping to pay for my upgrades for my truck.
There you go.
Because I wasn't able to get the nice truck because I mean cutting grass like on the push mower and stuff all summer after practice, stuff like that. That was where most of my money came from.
That's right. Tell everybody about your first truck, your silver bullet.
Oh yeah. So Sandy was my first truck, Silver Sandy. She came. We had just got home from a trip or whatever, and my parents came to Akins, and they said, like, what do you want? Like, we'll go pick it out and stuff. And I was like, dang, like, I don't even get to go pick it out or whatever. And they were like, what do you want? I said, a truck with 4-wheel drive. That's literally it.
There you go.
And so they came home with a single cab 03 F-150. It had 98,000 miles on it. It was sitting in the garage. Already had a toolbox on it and everything. I was like, dude, this is perfect.
Love
and
it.
so that was the story of how I got Sandy.
That's awesome. And then we went to a little bit of wheel and tire action, and slowly rolling in the upgrades in. And then we went taller.
Heck
we
yeah.
went bigger and badder.
Oh yeah.
And you probably can see right out here, Brock is now in unbelievable
Oh, yeah.
Stormtrooper Covert Edition. He's in a Super Duty bad boy, white and black, unbelievable. Have you obviously tell us what your thoughts on that truck so far?
The truck is unbelievable. Like I don't even have any words, honestly. Like it is night and day between my old truck. I mean, obviously it's a 20-year difference. There should be night and day differences, but just, I mean, having like electronics in front of you is something new. Like I had like an aftermarket radio, and it's still like scrolling the letters by on the songs I'm playing on my old truck. But it's just, I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever. Like I'm like in my old truck, like I take it hunting and stuff, take it wherever, like not even think twice about it. But like now, like if they're cutting grass on the side of the road, I'm like looking to see if there's someone in the other lane and get over. Like I don't want anything on it. So it's perfect.
The appreciation factor of, you know, so much is just handed out these days in some aspects, but the fact that your parents still made you work to achieve and get stuff for this truck, and you, I mean, I know how great of a young man you are. I know you greatly appreciate this truck and all the things that, you know, Mr. Akins and your family's done for you. And I'm so blessed that you did, like, Brock was a porter here, y'all. He was in service, just doing anything he could, just cheerful and every day. And I miss you working here because I wouldn't get to see you a lot. When I would get to see you, it was always good. So that was really cool. But and having those little jobs in between kind of, you know, sets the foundation for being able to being punctual, showing up on time, and doing all the things that being a respectable young man will do for you. About your faith, one thing I greatly respect about you too is you're not scared to talk about your faith. So talk a little about just your Savior Jesus Christ.
I mean, first and foremost, like literally just it's a blessing to be here. Like it's a blessing to sit down, and like whenever that's your perspective, like you're grateful for everything in life, and like just being able to spread the gospel and preach the gospel is like our number one duty as Christians on this earth. Like we talked about it last week. Like this is like just being able to just proclaim his name, and like there should be no shame in that, because he's the creator of the world. Everything you look at like has gone through the palm of his hand. And that's just, it's surreal. Like our brains can't even picture like eternity. Like we can't even comprehend all this. And just because our God is so great. And that's just like everything that's come and gone in my life is come through the palm of his hand, like all the ups and downs. And like, he's never going to give you a trial or a tribulation that you can't go through and that he hasn't sought through for you. And like everything is like I don't like, there's a common saying that's like, I don't know like what my future holds, but I know who holds it. And that's just like the most true thing ever. And especially like with where I was in my life with the portal and stuff, and maybe just my first collegiate decision, I was like, dude, this is such a tough decision. Like just making sure I prayed about it and stuff. And that's just, that's like, I mean, I could go on and on all day about it just because our Lord is so great. And I'm just thankful for everything, honestly.
Yes, sir. Amen to that. I'm sure that the age that you're at, you have seen the dynamic shift of growing up in a Christian household, the shift of how much tougher it is now, how much more the devil is trying to, I mean, it's a spiritual battle every single day. When I was growing up, it was not near as prevalent. I think all the advances of the world today with technology and so forth has enabled that to happen more, where you've got outlets like phones where, you know, there can be, demonic stuff that people just see, or the stuff that they try to brainwash you with on a daily basis is so much tougher now being a young man or an adult versus earlier in the day. Do you see that from when you were younger to now? I guess, when you're a little more naive when you're a child, but do you see that as the world's kind of getting it's getting tougher and tougher? You really got to hold tight to your Bible and stay in the scripture?
Correct. That's like something me and my buddy were talking about actually like a couple of weeks ago in one of our Bible studies. Is like some of the stuff that we're seeing like on a day-to-day basis is like becoming normalized. Like that's the problem. And that's what I was thinking of when you were saying is like some of this stuff is becoming so normal. Like this is not normal. Like, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but like in the Bible, like it'll strictly say like if you have any questions, any answer is in the Bible. Like it's 100% true from cover to cover. Like every question you have, there's an answer for it. And there in the back of the Bible, hey, what's my thoughts on this? And it brings you scripture right there. And that's like just some of the stuff that's being accepted like in today's day and age is like, and that's the thing is like we got to hold our ground. Like that's the thing is like we got to be able to just proclaim Jesus when we hear this stuff, and just love others is like a big thing, and like you can't be judging of other people because we really don't know what's going on, but just making sure you say your prayers for them and stuff like that, and just spreading the gospel when you can.
Yes, that's amen to that, Brock. It gives me so much hope knowing that there's young men like you that still stand firm in that, and the Bible studies that obviously those small groups and stuff is very helpful.
Oh yeah,
just that really close time with your friends and whatnot. It really is a daily struggle, and for me, I try to extend. I'm very confident, and arrogance and confidence can easily be skewed, but I always try to proclaim my faith and let people know that everything that I'm doing professionally is not it's coming from me, but it's coming from God. Like He's putting ideas in my heart. He's putting people in my path. He's using others and myself, my vessel to reach people and to do what we're doing in the automotive industry. So it's like if you cannot let pride get in the way. You have to always know that everything that you do is because of God and comes from God. So that I think that's a big thing that I want the viewers to hear me say again, that if you see me out here acting crazy and having fun and doing things and having swagger and confidence, just like you're going to see Brock out there doing the same thing, doing his thing, smiling, having confidence, being a baller, knowing that he and I both have our foundation in Christ is what gives me the confidence. It's what gives me the joy. It's what gives me my perspective. It's all about perspective. If you grew up in a poverty situation and never were exposed or heard about God, your perspective is going to be not the same. So it's just, we want everyone to hear about the good word, and then we can hopefully change their life by that perspective shift. Because you can be in the dungeon and know the good news that we know and still have joy and peace and hope. That's the big thing I want all of our viewers to see. And we got a young man right here that stands firm in it too. So full spectrum from all ages. We just want people to hear the word.
Correct. And one thing that hit me whenever you were just saying that is when we were talking last week, like God is giving you the opportunity to have this platform. And another thing was like, is use the platform. Like it's the parable of the talents. Like if you don't use your talent, then He's going to take it away. And that's just something for me is like, I feel like I'm a gifted football player. Like why would I not use my football platform to proclaim Jesus? And you were talking about the confidence and arrogance thing. Like a thing I'll add to that is like, hey, dude, if you just build a sick new 450, like you're gonna make a good video out there. You can play some music for it. Like if I throw a 60-yard bomb, like get fired up. Like we're not robots.
Let's
like
go.
Show emotion, stuff like that. But I love the videos. We were talking before about all the recent builds and stuff.
Yeah, that's the joy of life. Whenever celebrate and life is so short. Life is so short. I remember when I was your age. I'm 39 years old again. My parents are 70. Like my son, I have a 16-year-old, Brock. I have a 16-year-old. Like life goes by so fast, so you really got to soak up and enjoy the moments. I can't wait to get to heaven, but while I'm here, I want to have a ball. I want to have fun and just enjoy life, because I know that each one of us were put here from God with a purpose, and it took me a long time in life to find kind of what my niche was. I didn't have all the joy because I was searching. Like what is my purpose? make good money, but really not enjoy life, really not say that's not what I'm here to do. You know, it's not about the money. It's about what is my true purpose? How can I impact? How can I be fulfilled in that token? Really, really great. I love hearing that from you, Brock. I'm business partner with Austin Brown for Back 40 Attraction. We've got great hunting supplement products. Check us out there. Just got married the other day. You and Stan, Brock Bowers. Y'all are in the wedding. You love hunting. You've been hunting with him a few times too. I guess just share about your love for hunting. I know that when you were going to go to Oklahoma, I remember we were talking about like, man, there's some good hunting opportunities out there too. And it's just funny how if you really love the outdoors, how everywhere you go or everything you do, you kind of in the back of your mind, even when I'm talking to customers, I'm like, so you live in Illinois.
That's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Illinois.
Yeah, like, do you have any property up there? You got a deer on your property? You know?
Heck yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your passion for hunting. What do you enjoy about it? What is your favorite thing to hunt?
So I grew up basically just like hunting whitetail and fishing bass. That's crappy a little bit. But those are the two things I love, like still to this day, like that's my roots. And but talking with Mr. Setzer in the service lane, obviously he's a big turkey hunter, and me and Bowers, we say that turkeys do not exist. Like we've been turkey hunting several times, have never seen a turkey. Like we just think they're government plots, they're fake, all this stuff. And but Stan, he's a big duck hunter, so that's basically what they did in California because they got black-tailed deer out there. So he's showing me pictures, and they're like this right here. He's like, no, that's a monster. I'm like, okay, well, don't ever say that again. But he's a big duck hunter, so he's got me into duck hunting a little bit. And we've been able to go to Arkansas some, and obviously hunt with Austin a little bit down there with them wood ducks. But it's something I've grown like accustomed to. I can call a little bit, and it's different. It's not deer hunting like we were talking before about. Like we run dogs in Alabama. That's a different form of hunting. Like you're riding trucks around talking on CB radios, like exhaust. Like on my old truck, like my exhaust, like that was a big thing. I was like, dude, like I love having it straight pipe and stuff, but like, dude, when I'm pulling into camp or something, if I'm pulling up to like where I'm gonna walk in at, I don't want all that noise. Like them trucks out there, they're loud as heck. Like everybody's on the CB radio, dogs are barking. It's just a different type of hunting. So I think like being able to expand my like options and stuff is good, but I think always like whitetail deer and largemouth bass will be my passion. I
agree. I'm a big whitetail guy, and it's tough. Like going out there and sitting in the woods and being still and being quiet. That's tough, and it's not as I guess flashy or fun as like what you're talking about in Bama or even duck hunting or dove hunting. Things where you can move more. Turkey hunting, you're kind of a little bit more mobile as well. But there's something about you cannot duplicate sitting in a deer stand and seeing a buck.
Oh yeah.
And there's just nothing.
And all the time and effort that's gone into it. That's something that people don't understand is like, hell yeah, well I passed 7 deer dead on the side of the road. Okay, well it's not that easy. Like their chances were it's not that 12-point you're hunting.
Right.
But you were talking about the back 40 earlier. Austin ended up giving me like 10 or 12 bags and stuff. So I was like, all right, like I'm gonna split this stuff up and just put out a little bit and bring some back to the barn. And dude, I'll be danged. It was like not 3 or 4 days later, it's gone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got all these pictures. I had to go change my batteries on my camera. Like they lit it up, and it was the new stuff. I think it was something with the cherry.
Was it so the corn and the soybean? Corn and soybean
okay,
with
that's
the
what it was.
Sweet cherry flavor.
Yes, correct. That's what it was.
That's
and
good
I
stuff.
just remember smelling it because like he'd give me a bucket of it, and then obviously some bags of it. And that bucket, like I was smelling. I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff smells so good. And like when you're putting it out, you can smell like it. And that's some of the stuff that like the persimmon crush, all that stuff that you can see in Academy, stuff like that. Like sometimes I can't even really smell that stuff, but like if I can smell it, the deer can smell it. And that's a big thing with just is hunting new land and stuff. Is like I always try to put out, like if I'm going to get Academy corn, like if I can't get any back 40, I'll go get Academy corn. Like I always get like a scent thing to come with it, especially if I'm hunting a new spot. Like that scent travels a lot further than just like, oh, I'm walking through here, like, oh, I see that corn over there. No, like they'll smell it and come to. That was a big thing, and that was something I loved about the back 40s because I was trying out two new locations, and they were in there and on them. And I mean, obviously there was deer in the area, but like for them to be on it before like before dark that night was stupid to me. And so that was something that I've loved, and Austin's really helped me out with that area.
Definitely. So the ploy behind that, and Austin's done a great job, is like it's an attractant, but it's also still got high protein content.
Correct.
So it's kind of best of both worlds there.
Correct.
We hunt at Tad Ladd, Western Kentucky whitetails. Me and my family have done it for 5 or 6 years now. And he's a season ticket holder with Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
And whenever he heard the rumors, he was asking me about it and stuff, and I was like, y'all are getting a stud.
Heck yeah.
Y'all are getting a straight up stud. So we'll have to see if we can get you over there to hunt too, and maybe Brock will be able to introduce and connect Real Deal with some new hunting areas up there, because Kentucky is a phenomenal state to hunt out of. I mean, there it is.
I think I was reading the other day they got elk or something there.
They do have
what
elk.
in the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we'll give Mr. Tad Ladd something to laugh about this football season.
Yes, sir. I'm excited about that. So yeah, the deer in Kentucky are just kind of they're a different stature. They have so much food sources up there. It's different. There's some big deer in Georgia now too, though. There's definitely some big ones roaming around here.
The deer in Georgia, I feel like, are kind of few and far between. Like, I mean, you get those booners. Like, you're like, oh my gosh. And but some of the teammates, when I was up there on my official visit, they were showing me some pictures of some deer they'd shot like the past couple of weeks or whatever. And I said, dude, if I had that picture on my phone and I was like on there, like that was me holding the deer, people around here would say, how much did that cost? Like, it had to be high fence. Like, that's what they would say is, dude, these deer are huge. It's like, that has to be a different bloodline. Like, that's like just all my mind can think of. But like those things, like you couldn't even fit your hand around just the base of their horns. And it's just, they're big. And hopefully I'll be able to get on one. But that's obviously the second priority behind football.
Definitely. Tell the viewers about, he was your roommate. Y'all become really, really good friends. Tell us about the worth ethic and Brock Bowers as a human being. Tell us a little bit about Brock Bowers.
So, I mean, you obviously can't talk about work ethic without talking about Chaz as well. Like, Chaz and Brock, like those two, like
from both of them.
Oh, yeah. They are workhorses. And, like, the first time we went there in our freshman year, we were at ECV, like East Campus Village. Like, that's where all the freshmen stay. They get back in at, like midnight, like 1 o'clock, like on a Friday night, like Saturday morning. I was like, dang, like what the heck are y'all doing? Like, we normally like play Madden, like on Friday nights. We sitting there and play Madden. They're like, oh yeah, we just we ran the stadium stairs. I was like, oh, okay, that's awesome. Like, thanks for the invite. Like, at least I didn't feel bad about myself knowing that I willingly said no to going and doing that.
Right.
But that's just some of the stuff. And Chaz and Stan, they'll always, like, you see him after practice, like Chaz, like, he's really not like a cover, like, back. Like, he's not a cover, like, there's cover guys and there's rush guys. And Chaz really isn't that, but, like, that was something that he was struggling with, like, last spring. And so, like, every day after spring practice, him and Stan would be running routes. And, like, dude, you're going against a first-round draft pick. Like, Bauer's, like, technician with routes, like, gonna catch anything even near him. Like, and that just shows how Chaz is like wanting to be like, dude, I got to get better at this. He's going and guard and stand every day after practice, and obviously that's getting me better throwing to him. That's getting Stan better running routes, getting off the press, getting off the jam, and it's helping Chaz like covering dudes that like he's not going to play anyone as good as Bowers. Like no one near close to him as good as tight end as him, but that was just some of the stuff, like specific examples. And those dudes, like, they're up when the sun's up, and they're in bed by the time the sun sets. So that's just, it was really like just motivational to be like, hey, like these dudes, like they're doing it the right way, and they're easy to follow, easy to live with. And so I was grateful for my 3 years that are sadly coming to an end, but I'm really grateful for that.
Definitely. That just kind of goes back to the environment deal. Like if you're around people that don't really have good work ethic and are not really, trying to be the best they can be, it's going to kind of trickle down into you too. But I guess you seeing them wanting to be high achievers and do all they can, it's like, man, I got to. Like my boys are doing it. I've got to also.
Correct. Like I always had that work ethic and stuff like that. Like I thought I was an overachiever. Like I thought I was going the extra mile, and they're like, hey, have you ran today? Oh my gosh, like I've worked out and thrown. Well, I mean, we already ran. I'm like, oh my gosh, so I'd go on a run. Like it's just always that next level, and they're always just getting more out of you. And obviously, like it's like a little triangle. Like I'm pouring into Stan, Stan's pouring into Chaz, he's pouring into me. Like it was a great dynamic, and like I said, just really thankful for it.
Absolutely. What's your schedule look like as far as when you have to go to Kentucky, and what does your January look like? What do y'all be doing?
So January 1 will be, I'll go up there with my parents and family and probably my girlfriend. We'll go in there, spend the night, and then the 2nd is move into a little house apartment or whatever. And then the 3rd is whenever like the new guys, like I guess like the transfers and the mid-years guys will come in and basically like an orientation, maybe the 3rd, 4th, 6th, something like that. I think we have that Saturday off, whatever that is. And then classes start the 8th, so I'll be starting grad school right back to it.
Dang. I mean, I've been there once. The campus is beautiful. It just seems like it's not a school that Georgia has like any legit beef with.
Correct.
It's not something that you're going to have people that just can't root for you because they just hate Florida. If you went to Florida or something like that, that would have been tough.
Yeah.
That'd have been tough. But Kentucky's like that's a great, perfect spot. That's a perfect landing spot for you.
I've heard a bunch of like obviously Georgia fans around here. They're like, "Hey, dude, like we'll get your jersey, man. We'll wear that royal blue. Like we're really proud of you. Like, and maybe when you play Georgia, we'll wear Kentucky socks with pants." So like that's just like
that's big
back
though.
It goes back to what you're saying. Like this just they don't hate them. Like and another thing is I've been up there like once. I mean, not playing. Like we went up there obviously last year for football, but that one time I went on my official visits, like the campus is so pretty. Like
beautiful.
Just driving in from the Lexington airport, like there's horse farms left and right. And I was talking to Madison Akins about it before, and I was like, I've never been to a horse race. So I don't know the first thing about horses. So that'll obviously be something I need to get into. And
she can help you with that. She can give you some suggestions on what to
yes, sir.
What to go check out there.
Heck yeah.
So we played Georgia Kentucky's early in the season too this coming year. Correct. I'm kind of worried about it, Brock. I'm not gonna lie. The other transfer that's coming with you, tell a little bit about him and what he can make a difference on the defensive side.
So obviously Pop's coming, and he's a game changer. Like he's a good dude. Like I'm gonna hate going against him in practice. Like obviously I already did. Like he's a baller on the other side of the ball. He's a leader, and he's a do everything right guy. Like he's not that loud of a guy. Like he's just gonna go on and do his business, and he's just a lunch pail and hard hat kind of guy. And that's what you want in programs. Is like, hey, they're gonna come in, they're gonna do their job, they're gonna clock out, clock in, and that's just do everything right. And obviously that's a good guy to have as a middle linebacker. And so that's obviously the leader of the defense. And so that's going to be good to help him and obviously help the team because that'll just be another leader on the team.
It definitely will. Having a good quarterback room with Stockton and Beck and even Stetson in the past, have you been able to take something from each of those guys to help just or something that you see in each of those guys that you like? Has it been beneficial being in the room with all those studs in there too?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely been several things I've learned, like even going back to JT. Like, JT, like he was that dude is a wizard when it comes to football. And
JT Daniels.
Correct. Yep. Obviously, he's wanting to, like, I think he medically retired. Obviously, he's going to go into coaching, which is, I mean, he's going to be a phenomenal coach. Like,
smart.
Oh, my gosh, he's a wizard. And just basically learning, like, just progressions and stuff. And a lot of people might not know, but, like, when I first came in as a freshman, learning that playbook was miserable. Like it's a really easy high school like playbook. Like, and people say we have a lot of plays, we don't. Like it's just like 40 or 50 plays in high school. Like, and they're memorized by the time you're a freshman, stuff like that. Like going straight into a pro style offense install. They're giving us this binder. I'm like, dude, what in the heck is this? Like, and it's like you have to learn defense before you learn offense, which was something that was really cool. Is like, hey, before we even teach you the offense, you have to identify cover 3. So, like, that's like, okay, like, if I know what the defense is doing, then maybe I'll have a clue what the offense is doing. And so I might not know where the offensive guys were going that first spring because I didn't really know the offense, but I knew what they were going to try to do on defense. So JT being able to help with breaking that down, breaking defensive stuff down, like progressions, like reads, like tails and tips of, like, coverages and stuff was really influential. And then I'll put Carson in there with that as well. Like that's more recent example of him helping with that. And like obviously we'll watch film together and stuff going into games, but being able to take from Stetson and Gunner is just Stetson mainly is just enjoy the ride. Like he was just a really carefree dude. And that's something like our old like analyst Buster Faulkner, the OC at Tech, we would always talk about, like, dude, this dude he's just magical. Like seriously magical, and just being able to watch him play was surreal. Like some of the stuff he did, like all the people that he just tuned out. Like he simply just tuned them out, and he's going out there and putting on a show every Saturday. And me and Carson and Gunner, we were his biggest fans, and like that was something that's just really been a huge blessing. And we've talked about it with Coach Bobo, Coach Gummy, Coach Monk, and all of them. Like between JT, Stetson, Carson, me, and Gunner, like that was a dream come true quarterback room. Like there was never no animosity, never anything like that. Like everyone was genuinely wanting others to do better at all times. And that was the thing, like even in the quarterback battle this past season between us three, like it was all the thing, like, hey, we still watch film together. We still want each other to do better or to do like well. And at the end of the day, trust that Coach Smart's going to make the right decision. And so obviously went with Carson, and I mean he's had a phenomenal year, balled out, and he's going to set himself up really well for the league.
I've seen some maturity. I don't know Carson at all, but I've just seen some maturity over the years. He just looks so much more poised. Even I guess the Auburn game, after the Auburn game this year, it seemed like he turned the page of like, man, he's really attacking the defense, and I've seen him just kind of, I guess, progress as far as he just looks more confident to me.
He doesn't flinch.
He doesn't
flinch. That's the thing that comes to mind is he doesn't flinch, and he's a really guy. He's a this right here guy. He's going to stay like this the whole time. Like, he could throw for 575. He's going, oh, heck yeah, man. Like, he could throw 6 picks. Oh, I mean, that's okay. Like, and that's a part of something, like, you got to be able to turn that off and turn that on whenever you're a quarterback. Is like, you can't take the highs too high or the lows too low. And that's something I've been able to take from Carson. Is like, hey, like, the team's looking at you. Like, if you throw a pick 6 or whatever, like, you chase him down as far as you can. Like, you tackle him if you can. But, like, the team's looking at you. Like, they want to see what you're doing on how you react to certain things. And that's just something I was able to take from Carson this past year.
The quarterback position, tell me if I'm wrong, has got to be the most important position in said sports because of you have to possess those skill sets, plus you have to have the demeanor and the leadership. Leadership is kind of something you have to either have in you a little bit, but then just learn how to be a leader, learn how to represent, and that's something that as a young man that's tough to do. But would you not agree that quarterback's probably one of the most critical 100%. And tough, like you got what all you have to learn. I have no idea the depths of what all you had to learn on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm. That's like going to the leadership and stuff. I mean, obviously my dad being a coach, like he had this sign in his bathroom of his office at Prince. Leadership can be simply defined, lead your ship. And that was just something like he was always instilling in me. He's like, dude, like, you're the quarterback. Like, when people come to scout you, they're going to go ask the cashier at the racetrack down the road, hey, how's Brock Vandagriff? Like, is he a good kid? Is he a dude that we want to make the face of the program? Because like, the quarterback is the face of the program, and like you're going to be under a microscope wherever you go. And what you were saying about like learning as well is like you have to know what all 11 dudes are doing on offense. You have to get them lined up, and something I've kind of grown more into just being in college for 3 years is being more vocal out there and being more vocal to my teammates and stuff. Because if you think about like a corner out there, they're playing defense. Oh yeah, we're going to cloud over here. All this stuff. Like, I mean, they don't have to say a word, and they can play lights out. And a quarterback though, it's just a lot more verbal. Like it's a lot more communication on the sidelines, and being able to be like a respectable leader is something that you have to establish in order for others to listen to you. So like if you're a freaking jackwagon, you go over there and tell the receiver, hey man, slants are supposed to be at 3 steps. They might look at you and say, man, frick you, man. You're a freaking turd. Like, I'm not going to listen to you. But just being able to earn the respect of your teammates is a big thing, and that's a big task ahead of me at Kentucky, but I'm ready for it.
You are. I know you are. Being a man in any look at just being a man of any age, of any part of history, it's tough. Whether you're fighting in a war or trying to make it or trying to lead a family, it's tough. And just to piggyback off what you're saying, you're living your testimony is your every second, every day, everything that you're doing as far as your faith. Like I used to, I guess, try to preach a little bit more or say things that I felt like people that didn't really do well. So it's like I'm going to try just being me and living my life, my Christian life, and try not let that to be the light. Try to see
your walk.
That's my walk. That's my testimony. So as a football player, you're doing the same thing. So you got kind of double duty. I got double duty as a person of influence, a businessman. Everything I do day to day has to be what I say. If I say I'm going to be this and do this, then I must back it up. I must.
Correct.
I like proclaiming things ahead of time, and then I believe in speaking things into existence. I want to become this, and then try to do everything I can to do that. I like to not just necessarily write down my goals, but speak it. I think you really can speak things into existence and then go make it happen. That's a big part of it. So we've got Brock Vandagriff. He phenomenal young man, believer in his faith, hard worker. Brock, everything I check off about you, everything I think about you, I tell my son, like, look, watch Brock. I've told him from a young age, like, watch this guy. Like this is the model. Like, this is kind of, you see how he carries himself. You see how he does. So, my son's a huge fan of yours simply because of just your attributes, not because who you are as a football player. Obviously he loves that too, but just how you are as a young man. And it's good to give, there's a lot of kids that look up to you. You know that. There's a lot of people that look up to you. So I know that you know and honor that duty that you have, and you live it every day knowing that. So that's really, really proud of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Big time. We've been rolling for 50 minutes now, and it goes by fast, doesn't it?
It really does. This just felt like a normal conversation.
It is, man. That's what I love about it. We want to do more and more of this. Maybe even, if you can get some of your other former teammates or something in here, we could do something, and look forward to do some hunting too sometime.
Oh yeah,
that would be big. So you're in your Akins Ford truck. It's going to be so I was kind of thinking, like, what is Brock going to do vehicle wise when he goes up there? Because now he's kind of getting away from the nest a little bit, getting a little farther away. Could the silver truck, could it have you named this one yet?
Oh, this is Wanda.
Yeah. And Sandy's
she's the old truck. Yes,
could Sandy have stood the test of back and forth from Kentucky, or?
Oh, that's probably something I wouldn't want to figure out.
You wouldn't want to find out, would you?
No, sir. My dad, when we went to my grandparents for Christmas, my dad drove it to Alabama. So obviously I hunted out of the last 2 days, but it's going to be like a hunting truck now. So obviously be able to give her a lot more love and affection after I'm done playing football, whenever that is. But yeah, they'll drive her once a month. I just told her to take care of her, and if she ever needs a little extra juice, just play some Hank Jr. and she'll be good.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
You're going to love the comfort on those long rides in this truck. Then just never forget. I'm the same way. Put diesel in it. Never forget and accidentally put gas in it, because we'll come pick your truck up, warm to where you are.
Oh yeah.
But don't do that. I think about that all the time. I'm in my first diesel truck too now,
Correct.
so I'm like, diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel.
Like if it wasn't in all caps the other day on the gas cap, like it was like my first or second time doing it, like on the diesel cap, it was all diesel, like in all caps. I was like, freaking not paying attention. I was like, I scanned my card and I was like, oh no. And I was like, oh my gosh. But like that is something that you got to just watch out for. Absolutely.
I know. I don't want to put him on blast, but another great guy, tight end coach Hartley.
Oh yeah,
he did it. Not too long ago. We took care of it. We got it for him and all that. But it could happen to any of us.
Oh, dude, I need to stop laughing because it could very well happen to me.
I almost have done it once as well. We were going to a race in Ohio this past year, and I almost did it too. Like it. And that's a bad thing. That's like it's like a $12,000 mistake.
Yeah, I need to try to avoid that.
Just remember that. But like when Bowers came here, his family came and wanted him to be taken care of from the vehicle side while I was here. He got a vehicle from us. We did a covert package for him. So like Akins is kind of like the trusted source for the automotive aspect. Like they were from California, obviously, and they told us, well, first of all, Hartley was like, keep an eye on Bowers. He's a special talent.
Baller.
But they were just looking for someone to know that we had his back while he was out here on the East Coast. So we take pride in doing that kind of stuff for athletes or anybody. It builds me up as a man, seeing all the success we have from across the entire country. It's like, if you're willing to, I don't care if you're local or if you're in Texas or wherever, if you're willing to, take time or money to come be a part of what we got going on here, like I don't take that for granted. That means everything to me. So to all of our great viewers and stuff, that means a lot.
And something about Akins is like, dude, as long as the back of your car has that Akins oval on it, like, dude, they're gonna go out of their way to make sure that if you have any questions, if you're in Texas, that they can answer them, they can help you out, and that's something is just, it goes beyond just the initial buy or sell or whatever, and it's like with me, like they've taken care of my old truck, like keeping her running for however long, but it just goes like it's a relationship, like it truly is a relationship, and it goes further than that initial buy or sale.
It does. We're in the automotive business, but we're in the people business because like it's about relationships and being the trusted source. So when I first came here, Brock, I walked in the back door my very first day. I didn't see it when I was interviewing here, but I came in the back door, and out there, the 10 Commandments are on the wall back there.
Oh yeah,
like unheard of.
Oh yeah,
in a lot of businesses, but especially a car dealership. You know, and when I was growing up, Brock, I've always loved automobiles. I've always loved customizing everything. Like if I had a bicycle or baseball cleats, I was coloring them or trying to adjust it. I've always been into this. I didn't really know that was what my end goal was going to be, was to be in an automotive customization. But like this is truly like I've been led here by God. I've been I even said no to working here initially. I thought that I was trying to be more about me and thinking what I needed to do, what I wanted to do. And literally I felt that like something was telling me God was leading me like, no, you need to be at Akins. You need to be here. And it's been so great for me ever since. It's really changed my life just being here, as far as the perspective and environment of how everyone here is. Like Brock, 20 years ago, someone had to die to be able to work here. Essentially, like it was, you could not get a job here. It was all high achievers, and it still is.
Oh yeah.
So just the fact to be able to work here first and foremost. But then when I got here, Brock, I was like, saw opportunity and saw just ways that I could make a mark. And I was like, well, first of all, I want to make sure all the 400 employees know who I am first and foremost. Yep. And so doing things for that. And then how can I let, the Georgia know me? How can I let the country know me and us? Because just seeing how great the dealership is, being a family-owned store, and then the accessory business being a part of Akins, that convenience factor, it really fired me up, and it still fired me up every day. So like I'm wanting to just proclaim how great this is. Everything that I do social media wise, my first thought process is not being this. Let's make a commercial today. Let's make an ad today. My thought process is, we just did an unbelievable truck, and I just want to show everybody. That's kind of been my genuine belief in. I post a lot, obviously, but it's like I post a lot because we do so much here, and I just want to show. I don't want anybody to miss anything. So that's kind of obviously it brings us business, it's made us be successful, but it's a genuine thought process that I give the community, because I just truly love it, and I want everyone to see all the great stuff, and it's really worked out great. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just, if you can truly find what you really enjoy in life, what you're really passionate about, then you really can reach your potential. I think it's hard if you're doing a 9-to-5 job that you kind of regret, or you don't really want to get up to go work at or something. You may have to do that. I've had to do that through seasons of my life just to make sure I can sustain. Yeah. But I want to say to everyone before we end that just really, really try to find what you like, what your interests are, and you may not even be good at it at first. You may not be. My videos kind of pretty much sucked initially. I had to learn how to let my personality show, but not being on a soapbox. But just I feel that really, if you can find what you enjoy and then just work at that craft, you can really become great at it. And I really think that is what God wants you to do. He wants you to search and find what your interests are, and then that's kind of the skill set that He's given you. The skill set He's given me is for a reason. He wants us to find that purpose, and then maybe we can impact the world in a positive manner by having that skill set. If we're out here trying to be a construction worker and you can't even hit a nail very good, then that's probably not your God-given calling and purpose. So do you kind of feel the same way? And
something like that just came to mind when you were saying that, is like and it's another thing, is like just football, like the amount of time and stuff and the effort that goes into it, is like, if you truly love what you're doing, like you won't truly work a day in your life.
That's right.
You won't work a day in your life. Like I get up, I enjoy, like, dude, when we have dog time in the spring, like we have 6 a.m. run for 2 weeks every day. That's not very fun. But like, you know, hey, if I suck this up, then we have 7 on in the afternoon. So like, it's always just putting things into perspective. Like, hey, like, what do I get from this? Like, this is making me better? Like, I mean, you got to do some of the stuff you don't want to do. I mean, obviously, same thing with your job. Like, you probably have stuff that you don't really like doing, but like,
Sure.
in order to get to the end goal, like that's something that's just one of the steps along the way.
Yeah, just making those sacrifices along the way. Brock, this has been a blast, hasn't it?
Heck yeah.
It's been fun.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe we haven't already done it, really.
I know.
I can't believe we kind of waited till the very
yeah.
end to do it. It was really good. But I really appreciate your time today. Do you have anything you want to end on or just say to the viewers?
No, sir. I mean, I think we covered everything.
We
I really
did. Like, in my head, I'm sitting here thinking about, we don't usually have a script here at the podcast, y'all. We just kind of have things that we want to make sure we cover. And it's just some people are easier to talk to.
Yes, sir.
Brock's been my friend for a long time, but this is the most time I've got to sit down and talk with you ever.
Yeah.
So this is like, I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget it.
sir.
And maybe Heisman's gonna be your calling in a couple of years, and we'll look. This video will probably go viral
yeah.
at that point.
That'd
Be
be
like,
sweet.
Brock, he did a podcast back.
Heck yeah,
You know?
that'd be sweet.
Yeah. So you're at much better. I love where you're at in your life. When I was in my early 20s, I was still searching. I had not known or been shown to read these type of books that you're talking about reading and stuff. And I guess in my mid to late 20s, I started doing that. And really just that self-education has done more for me than anything. Just reading David Goggins type books. I'll send you some more books that I've read too that I think will be helpful for you. But just having that knowledge can really accelerate how fast you can succeed in life. If you can learn things from other people that have already been there and done that.
It might be the same stuff, but like they might just say it a different way.
Yeah.
Like that's like Coach Bobo might have said something different than how Coach Monken said it, but I can grip it and I can grasp it a lot easier because it's just the way it was presented to me. And that's the same thing with different books. Like it might be something your dad's been telling you for 30 years that hasn't made sense, but when someone else says it, like, oh, well, dang, maybe that is a good idea. Like maybe my dad is looking out for me. So yeah,
that's right.
Heck yeah.
Good. And I 100% feel like if you're my dad and your dad, I kind of feel like they were the same. If you had to say, were they a little tough on you growing up or a little easy on you growing up? My dad was not easy on me growing up. If you had to pick one or the other, would you pick tougher
absolutely.
versus? And I think I'm making sure that I'm kind of on that same balance with my son as well. Like knowing what the Vandagriff and Nsheppard standard is and knowing what we're trying to achieve in life. As you're growing up, you're not going to really know that unless you got pops there to tell you and show you, like, this is how we need to operate. This is how our family, what our beliefs and principles are. So
that's another thing is he would always say, like, it's tough love. Like, dude, like, I'm looking out for you. You're my firstborn. You're my only boy. Like, I want the best for you. And like, it just took me forever to understand that. It's like, dude, like, this dude, like, my family hates me. Like, they won't let me freaking go bowling or something like that. But like, no, like, you need to get in bed because you got a game tomorrow. Like, it's just stuff that you don't understand at like a younger age. And now it's like, as I've gotten older, it's just I've gone to appreciate more and more just from my mom and dad. And that was just a thing. Like, we actually, last thing probably, we had a sit down conversation. It was like my 10th grade year, and we're playing football and stuff. And basically, like, on a Monday or Tuesday, my dad had said something, and it might have been my freshman year, and I chirped back at him. Like, I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, all this stuff, that doesn't make sense. He said, just take off running. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, I ran the entire practice around the field. Like, everyone's laughing at me. I'm just running. And that was kind of the thing where I was like, all right, like, that's a no-no. Like, obviously, don't talk back to your dad or coach. So that got that straightened out. And then it was my sophomore year, like, it was probably the second or third game of the season, and we're going home, big game coming up. I think it was Wesleyan, and we're going to the house, and like we're sitting at the dinner table, and my dad talked about football for like 20 or 30 minutes, and like we seriously had to have like a heart-to-heart conversation. I was like, dude, look, when we're on the field, when we're in the meetings, like, you're coach, but like when we're at home, like, just be my dad. Like, ask me how school was. And that was just, it was a big turning point in our life. Like, that just made our relationship so much better. Is like, you had that coach relationship and you had that dad relationship, and it was awesome to be able to, like, obviously me, like a player and a son relationship, like that was just being able to figure that out and work through that. My 10th grade years just made our relationship awesome.
And you'll still find out. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still maturing. You know, you'll never really stop learning, and you'll still mature, you know, until the end of time, because you're taking those moments, those experiences, and you're building off of that. So you're still forever going to be, you know, learning and molding as a young man. So it was hard for me to realize that too. I felt like at times that I knew it all. I felt like that I had it all figured out. When I was 24, 25, I'm like, okay, I finally matured. I finally got it figured out. And then 5 years later, I'm like, the 25-year-old Neal knew nothing.
Yep.
You know, and then like the 35-year-old Neal compared to the 30-year-old Neal, he would get crushed by that 35-year-old Neal. And then the Neal now would crush the 35-year-old.
That's what it's all about.
You know,
growing.
Just keep on building. So another part of getting older is getting to look forward to watching young men like you grow up. So,
yes,
I always got your back. You know, obviously Mr. Akins has always got your back. So you got a lot of people in your corner, and just look forward to watching you be successful.
Yes, sir.
That's it, baby. That's it. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much.